What do we have going on? Did you make that truck?
No,
Kyle made
I
it?
did actually.
You made it? And what's this black stuff? Gravel? And then what's this white stuff?
Connection.
Who's this crazy man right here? He's the driver?
Now watch. If you crash into anything, watch what happens.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
Feel that.
You.
It's like really heavy.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's crazy. Someone's talking to us on the cameras. So it came in this giant wheel? Cool.
Just like mine, but I'm not sure.
Which one?
If you push
I
it.
like it. Well, good morning. Dogs are fighting. It's mostly the white one instigating with the old man. But they have fun together. Yes, Kai? Okay. That's yours, but Casey's playing with it? Let's go work on some stuff. Played with wheel lights yesterday. Today we will play with putting our transmission back in. Finally got our pieces we needed. 4AN to a 3AN reducer. If you don't know what AN is, it's kind of an automotive size fitting, and that's what we needed right there. Just to make it smaller, so the lines that were already on the car, we can reuse them instead of redoing everything, because the slave cylinder that when you push the clutch, it pushes the hydraulic fluid. You can kind of see it right under the brake booster down there. But the fitting that goes into that is 3AN. So, yeah, a little blue one down there. I have some towels under. Yeah, I didn't want to have to change that whole thing out or have to get a different fitting on that. So we did that. But let's get under there, at least get the throwout bearing fitted on. We have to measure again, make sure we're not going to be touching. It has to be like an 1/8 inch away from the finger forks of the pressure plate. You don't want it to just be resting on it, but you don't want it to be too far away, because when you push the clutch, it pushes on those pressure forks. Let's go. So that's what it's doing. Let's get it started. It is cold out here. Whew. Still pretty nice sun, but windy cold. Hello, 3UV Mom.
Hi.
What are you doing?
Throwing away something?
Oh, okay. Well, this is what we have, guys. This is what is the factory. There's a fork that'll push this in and out, like mechanical. That's what comes with the kit when you buy the clutch. This is what we have now, but it had these bigger pieces. You might have watched the previous video. If we're doing a throwout bearing. This is 4AN right here, male. We needed a 4AN female to a 3AN male because the lines we had were 3AN. So these are the factory lines. This line's gonna go up to the slave cylinder right there by the firewall. That's where the pedal pushes, and it pushes the hydraulic fluid. This is what we had in there before. It is broke. The snap ring up here kind of got sheared off, I guess, or just lost it. It was like kind of broken off. That mail guy just showed up. So what we're dealing with now is we have to measure. And you can see kind of, this is all the way pressed down, all the way pressed down. The one on the left's a little bit higher, but this one that we have on the right had 2 of these little spacers that would go on the shaft on there. So you put those on there and put them right next to each other, evened out. They're exactly the same height. So that's where they had it measured, but who knows if they did it right, so we'll double check. But we're just gonna get rid of those 2 rings that are already on the transmission down underneath, and then that'll slide right on. So we'll do our measurements, but first we gotta get all this tight, get some Teflon tape on there, because this is hydraulic fluid. So this is gonna be your bleeder side, and we had an external bleeder line that was coming out of the bell housing. It was attached by a bolt in the bottom, so you could bleed it externally. Because when this came to us, it just had a little tiny bleeder inside of here. So I don't know how you were gonna bleed it when it was inside the transmission, unless you can bleed it outside. They give you 2 different size threads that are gonna go with the bolt between here, so this doesn't spin. This one used to have one like this, so it doesn't spin on the shaft and tangle up your lines. So they give you those 2. So we're gonna replace all these ones, because the other one had like 4 of these. The other one that was the wrong one completely was way too big. So there's 2 different threads. I believe it's the smaller threads just by looking at it. It is. So we'll do that, and we'll put back our factory ones with the washers. I like that better. It sealed it better, but that's what we're doing. Let's get that throwout bearing, and what this does is it presses in and out on those forks down there, and engages and lets the clutch stop so the transmission can be shifted again. So, okay, let's go ahead and get that in. So he broke it.
Bro, why didn't you use this one to do the nut thing on the truck?
A little tiny one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How tiny is this?
What's the number on it?
6.
6 millimeters, a tiny one. So we got it all done, Case.
Wait, this one's the same thing.
That's ready to go. Lines
Wait,
are in.
this one's the same thing too.
2 6s, in case you lose one. Let's keep them in order, okay?
7.
Let's put them back in order. All right, so we'll put that back in there. All our extra parts. Get these in the transmission now. And test fit this. Take off the 2 shims and remeasure.
Which one's the biggest one? This one?
Yeah, what's that one say?
Oh, it's 32.
32 millimeters. Oh, man. Put back the factory ones that were in there around the 3 sides with the washer, and then that one right there. And what that'll do is keep it, like I said, it'll go right between those 2 black ones, keep it from spinning. I'd like it kind of like the other one where it was not going to spin and move it at all, but that's the way they designed it. That's the way they pictured it, so that's what we got going on. But you want to put it in that bottom right position so it can let the wires through, the hoses through that point in the bell housing. So now we have to measure, because the bell housing is going to go flush right there, was right here. So that this goes actually in. So now you have to measure, make sure you're about an 1/8 inch from those little forks in there on that white piece. So let's do that now. Make sure we're right. Okay, guys. So the angle messes up the the ruler, but it's right below. It's an 1/8 inch below 2 3/4, which is what it is from the bell housing surface to that the fork. So that's awesome. It's exactly an 1/8 inch. That is with 0 shims. Yes, baby.
Can I fix with you?
Yeah, you can fix with me.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Over here.
Okay.
To the car.
Okay. Hi. All right. Yeah, so let's get this thing back in. That's awesome. It's a perfect measurement. And voila, we are back in. Our bleeder's right here. We have to run our other line up to the slave cylinder, clutch master, or sorry, clutch cylinder. Slave cylinder for the clutch, either way. Got all those tight, got our ground wire back onto the bell housing, and now it's just putting the shifter on, and the what's it called, stabilizing bar for the rear end. Have that kind of pushed down so we could jimmy in. It took a while to get the transmission to line up. I had to go in the front and turn the crank a little bit to make sure that the teeth, the 10 spline was lining up, and after that it made a little click sound and it locked in, so we are in there. Okay, and our new clutch is in. Let's get everything, our cross member back on and get our shifter on, and then we can put our drive shaft back in and just check over everything, make sure it's all buttoned up, and then we lost a little bit of fluid, so we got to fill that thing up a little bit more and bleed out the throwout bearing. Okay, final thing's done. It took me a second to get the shifter. These are 11 millimeter. This is the drive shaft, last thing P put in. The shifter has 3 different links, and I got the combination wrong. I had one on the bottom side, which should have been on the upper side, and it wouldn't work. So it took me a second to figure all that out. Oh, but we're ready to fire. We bled the system. Long time coming. Let's go ahead and see if we can spin these wheels. Now that is a really nice McLeod slave cylinder. If you don't know McLeod clutches, they're pretty dang good. So, okay, we probably have to idle it for a while before it's going to stay lit. It does not have a choke, but hey, we have everything back together. And leave it up on here on jacks so we can watch the wheels spin. But first, we got to get this thing to idle a little bit. Okay, fire in the hole. Dies right away, no choke. Will not stay lit and backfires from the back unless you get it warm. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but something's going on. What are you doing?
I want to push the IROC up.
You want to you want to see it move? Okay. You can push it up one time. Come here. Just don't hit the bike. Ready? Push down. Good job. Now see if this wood goes under here, because this jack won't come out without it being a little high. Let's see if it comes out now. There we go.
That scared me.
Was it scary?
Yeah, so
All right.
I want to see the wheel move.
You want to see the wheels move? Me too. Yeah, babe. All right, the car is out of the garage, so that is a good sign. The only thing is I kind of, like, the shifter's not, something's wrong. I tried to use reverse, so I still think I have it wrong. So I'm going to jack it back up and get under. I know, me too, but on top of all that, the headlights don't work. We haven't put in our headlight switch yet. So we do have a headlight switch. We might put it in, but we can, at least it's out of the garage, guys. But I'm gonna get back under there and see what's up with the linkage. Well, I know, I wanna drive it too, but we have to get the shifter figured out because it's not, after I try to go in reverse and nothing, it'll be first, but that's it. Let's jack it back up. But hey, clutch works, guys. Throwout bearing works. Came out of the driveway just fine. Okay, car is back in the air in the driveway. And what had happened was one of these little cotter pins right here on the middle one had backed out. Found it on the driveway. So I tightened them all down, smushed them, pushed them back through, but it let go, so this fell through and it wasn't connecting to shift the gear anymore. Always something, guys. All right, well, there's 3 cotter pins. They're all tight now. Let's put it back together and hope we're good. Okay, not sure how much this is going to show to you guys, but let me see if I can get it right there. You see how it's protruding right here? This one is not. It's stuck kind of back in there. Oh, there you go. See how it pops out? But it pulls back in. See that? I don't know if you can see that. So you really have to get it tight. That was part of my problem. I wasn't on there tight enough. That wasn't pulling out. So the little groove in here wasn't fitting in there. These ones are already kind of sitting out. So make sure you get that one tight because that has like a spring loaded. That's probably for the reverse. See how it comes in and out? Yeah. So that was part of my problem also. I didn't have that tight enough. It wasn't in the groove. So it was just going back and forth on it, but not moving. All kinds of fun. Let's get this done. She is back on the ground. Yeah, that linkage was a little tricky with that spring-loaded part, but we got it in there. Now, gonna go ahead and replace this window switch. I got a new one right here. For some reason, this one, you can kind of hear it just falling back and forth. Doesn't turn the headlights on. It turns the marker lights on. See? Whoop. Markers, no problem. Headlights, no. So we can try and figure that out. Might not be that, but definitely something's broken in there. So we got a new one. Let's try and at least get that going. So it comes out from behind and it'll come back down here. This is the plug right off the bat. I don't know if it came off when we were pulling it down, but this black looks like a big ground wire that goes in here was just sitting there, so it wasn't even plugged in. And as far as the old switch and the new switch, I don't see much different. Whoops. Sorry about the light, fell down. Only thing I noticed is this spring is real easy to push. This one, very hard. So I don't know if that's something to do with it. Don't see any burnt terminals, but that ground was going right here. So if that's a ground, which I imagine it is. I don't see much wrong with it, but we'll see. Plug in the new one. It does have a different terminal back here. That one is either broken or missing. I don't know. See that? That terminal back here? Not back there, but it does have a little metal piece back there. Maybe that was part of it. But it also has this back here, which this one doesn't. So, I don't know. Oh, maybe that's for something else. We'll see. Okay, the switch does work. Fogs come on in front. Those didn't used to come on. I got one headlight. It might be burnt out. So we'll get some new headlights. But it works. It had a little bit of a loose terminal. I had to move it side to side. Looks like they replaced a wire. And yeah, but that works a lot better than the old one. This little one right here, the blue one. See that? I had to push that in a little bit, and then we got lights. Okay, either way, did not use any of those back ones. Might have been for after the year this one is, but hey, we'll take it. They have lights. Okay, guys, I just spent a good 30 minutes on this switch. You have to bring it in from the backside. Not only is this kind of broken, the little knob, you gotta bend out the little piece, but if you pull on it now, there we go. We get lights, push it in, kinda. There you go, you gotta push it in pretty hard. because there's a little threaded piece behind it that's broken. But I lost my headlights. So I used to have headlights, now I don't. Checked all the connections again, no luck. Checked the fuses, no luck. So we shall see. But we do have, or maybe it just burnt out. Maybe it just, maybe they're all burnt out. But we'll get some. At least we still have the lower lights on, the markers, and the clutch. Finally figured it out. But my goodness, guys, old cars and good times. The taillights are working. All right, let's put this thing back in the garage. But yeah, we need there's a little threaded black piece that goes behind the knob, and that keeps the whole thing from moving, and it's broken. So the threads are like barely there. You can tell where it just sheared off. So I have to buy another one of those. But let's check our shifter. Hopefully that pulling it all the way out with the spring load helped it be where it needs to be. I don't know. It's getting cold out here, guys. Poor Boots, the neighbor cat, or our cat that has now become the neighbor's cat. I was crying at me, so I brought him inside, got him some food. But let's get this thing started and put it back in the garage. But yeah, transmission's back in and clutch is working. What happened to the car?
It blew up the engine.
The engine blew up? I hope
Yes.
not. I really hope not, but hey, maybe.
It already blew up.
It did?
Yes,
Okay.
it already blew up.
Get your butt inside.
already
It is
blew up.
cold. Oh man, came out to see what I was doing. Let's get this thing moved. Idle's so high, guys. But on that note, guys, she's back. Just keeps sneezing out of the carburetors. Won't idle, even with it being warm. I drove it around the block. Shifts just fine for second, third, fourth, but it just doesn't stay lit. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's something. It just backfires out of the carbs. Right when I just shut it off right now, it backfired. Something's just not right. New coil, new rebuilt carbs. Adjusted, brand new, everything. So, I mean, there's one more thing people say it could be the fuel pump or the fuel regulator, but I don't know if that would be. It stays right at 6 psi and does not budge, throttle or not. So, I don't know. It's a new gauge. Let me know what you guys think if you ever had any kind of intermittent fuel pump issue or regulator issue that would cause the carbs to sneeze like that and just not idle unless you hold your foot down on the pedal. Yeah, so that's it. But the clutch is great. It does. It bites pretty dang hard. Give it a 500-mile break-in period, but I doubt we're going to be driving 500 miles. So, and we do have one headlight, which is good. The one right one, but I think the headlights just might be burnt out. I don't know. But she's back at home. She's charging the battery. And pray for it. And let me know anything in the comments what you think about a regulator doing that, making it sneeze out of the carburetors, backfire out of the carburetors. I know it needs to warm up. It was just warmed up plenty. I drove around a block twice, drove it through the park, and just keeps having to have me hold down the pedal to keep it from dying. So it won't idle by itself. Only one time did it idle by itself. It's when we first put a brand new battery in it, and it idled just fine for a little bit, and then the clutch went out. So here we are again. I'll probably check the plugs again, take those out. But just let me know if you think there's a regulator that could do that, make it sneeze out of the carburetors, or a fuel pump, because we did do the fuel filter. We switched out all the gas from that old stuff, but maybe that old gas just ate up the filter, or I mean the pump or the regulator. But it doesn't make any sense because it's putting 6 psi. But the throwout bearing worked great. Didn't have to put any shims in there. It went in pretty easily. I did have to, like the last half inch, kind of had to wiggle it back and forth a bit, but it finally got in there. And yeah, and that slave cylinder for the McLeod hydraulic one, that's a nice one. So definitely shifts perfectly. But yeah, just at a loss for the good old engine sneezing. And not staying lit. So, all right. God bless you. I'm going to put the rest of these tools away, and we will see you on the next one.